What's up, guys? I'm Chad Barnes, and welcome to the channel. Here, it's all about real car talk, from simple fixes to smart driving tips and keeping your ride in top shape. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, and make sure you watch all the way through. There's a lot of good stuff coming. Let's get to it.
Begins in Taiga, which emerged in 1897 in connection with the construction of the Trans-Siberian Railway as a small station settlement. In Soviet times, the designation of Taiga as the starting point of the Baikal-Amur Mainline and the associated population growth enabled it to become a town of district significance. And it is the only station in Russia through which both Transsib and BAM pass. And the first thing we do is to go to the railway station, to the place where the BAM begins. Along the BAM there is a technical highway with the help of which the Komsomol construction was served. Partly this road is reconstructed and asphalted, partly it is a winter road where you can pass only in the cold season. After Taiga we go to Bratsk and drive out on the longest federal highway of Russia, the Liui. It is a highway under construction, with the length of almost 3,000 kilometers, which should connect Tuluan with Yakutsk. The settlement of Bratsk was founded by Cossacks as an ostrog in 1631. It is 30 years older than Irkutsk, the center of eastern Siberia. It was the first Russian settlement on the Angara River. Like many other stockades, the Bratsk fortress had the importance of a stronghold on a vast territory. Modern Bratsk emerged in connection with the construction of the Baikal-Amur Mainline and the Bratsk hydroelectric power plant, the history of which can be found in the Bratsk Gestroy Museum. The Bratskaya HPP has been in operation for almost 60 years. During this time it has proved to be a real record breaker. The station retains its leading position in Russia in terms of average annual power generation. Next we go to Ust-Kut, which was also founded as a Siberian stockaded town. Its military importance declined in the second half of the 17th century, however, the settlement became increasingly important as a river port, becoming one of the main departure points for trade along the Lena River. In Soviet times, Ust-Kut became the base, the starting point for the Komsomol construction of the Baikal-Amur Mainline. And here is the only port on the Lena where cargoes are transshipped from railroad to river vessels, so it plays a key role in the northern importation. On May 2, 1974 at the Lena station in Ust-Kut arrived a passenger train with messengers of the 17 Komsomol Congress, who came to the construction of the all-Union shock Komsomol construction site of the Baikal-Amur Mainline. Some of them on the same day were transferred from the airport by helicopters to the site near the Taiga River, where the temporary tent camp of the builders of the Zvezdny settlement was located. Although the forest clearing there had already been broken through in the winter of this year, it was impassable for vehicles in summer. The autodouble gradually ceased to be asphalted, and we came to the expanse of a dirt dump. Further asphalt only in cities. Ahead are unique settlements, which were built by Komsomol members. And these are not empty words, because their construction was carried out by separate regions and republics of the USSR. When building settlements, the builders left a part of their homeland. And the first settlement on our way is Zvezdny. It was built by Armenia. Yerevan is called the Pink City due to tufa, a rock that was used in the construction of many buildings. Half a century ago, the first BAM station beyond Ust-Kut was also built of this sunny stone. And to speed up the construction of the Zvezdny settlement, tufa was delivered to Siberia by airplanes. Only 27 kilometers through the taiga and we come to the settlement of Naya, which was built by representatives of the Georgian SSR. On the way we often meet monuments dedicated to the construction of BAM. The Baikal Ridge is the natural border between Irkutsk Oblast and Buryatisha. The autodoubler, on which we drive through the whole BAM from edge to edge, crosses this ridge along the 990-meter-high Davin Pass. During snowfalls it is very difficult here, especially for trucks, which can't always get uphill and sometimes block traffic on the narrow road. The Buryat section of the Baikal-Amur Mainline embodies the spirit of adventure and unforgettable history. Stretching through picturesque landscapes, the autodoubler shares many alluring sights, from mesmerizing lakes to ancient sacred stones. Many of those who built BAM still live here, preserving the memory of their labor exploits. Veterans shared with us stories of how they overcame hardships, facing harsh climate conditions and lack of resources. The first city of Buryatisha is Severodvaikalsk. You can't get through it quickly, there is a lot to see and do here. It is called the BAM Leningrad. The first workers, the BAM builders, arrived in this region on July 23, 1974. They set up their tents and railway cars on the bank of the Tai River, where they lived and even spent the winter. On February 3, 1975, the Trust Leningrad Banstroy was established, which erected the town in the north of Lake Baikal. 6 months later, diesel engines of mobile power plants started working in the settlement. In 4 years, the first capital house in these parts was built. Leningrad architects and engineers specially for their town on Lake Baikal designed a series of block-dwelling houses number 122. They are earthquake-resistant, their broken curved silhouette is memorable at first sight. This is protection from the wind. The train station building is also memorable, an uncommon architectural statement by Vladimir Ksentiuk, a Novosibirsk architect, who gave special elegance to the silhouettes of Soviet railroad stations. In his architecture, I wanted to express the presence of Baikal. In the structural solution, the building is unusual. For the first time, rigid cables have been used at high seismicity, the architect said. The main attractions of Severodvaikalsk vicinities are unique Bamov Cape tunnels. The road functioned even before their construction, but rockfalls interfered. Further, we drive to Nizhnegarsk. The ancient village, founded by Cossacks in 1646, received a new impetus to development thanks to BAM. 90 kilometers after Nizhnegarsk, in a narrow gorge between two mountain ranges, lies the BAM village of Angoya. Blue skies, vast expanses, crystal clear air. Its history began 40 years ago. Angoya was built by Azerbaijani specialists. The Azerbaijani brigade, which arrived to the BAM in 1975, was shown the work front, 209 kilometers of permafrost, where it was necessary to lay a railway line and build a settlement. The settlement started to be built in 1983 by the builders of AZBA. The next railroad station and the settlement were built by workers from the Lithuanian SSR. Since the settlement is located near the old Evenki village Woyan, it began to be called New Woyan. At the height of the Komsomol construction, more than 11,000 people lived here. The station building, whose architect was Shemaitis, emphasized the passenger hall, which was covered with glued wooden structures with tile roofing. Most of the building material came from Lithuania. Perhaps one of the most beautiful sections of the BAM highway is the section from Woyan to Severodvaikalsk. And it is not only beautiful, but also the most difficult section of the Baikal-Amur Mainline, because here the railroad starts its way through the North Muisky Ridge. Before the opening of the Severodvaikalsk tunnel, trains followed a 54 kilometers long bypass railway line consisting of numerous steep serpentines and high viaducts, including the famous Devil's Bridge. It is said that the drivers were baptized before entering it, as the bridge is located in a steep curve on an incline, is very high, and has 2 tiers of supports. The Severodvaikalsk tunnel was completed and put into permanent operation on December 5, 2003. It is the most complex and longest railway tunnel in Russia. Its length is 15,343 meters. That's how we reached the village of Taximo, which already existed before the beginning of the Baikal-Amur Mainline. From the very beginning, Taximo had a special role in the construction of the century. Firstly, the settlements that used to stand in the taiga inevitably became the bases of the builders, and secondly, it was convenient to lay a road from here to the gold mines of Badabo. Therefore, Taximo was supervised not even by double, but by triple patronage. Buryatisha built the temporary station and prepared the clearing, Belarus built half of the permanent settlement, and Latvia built the station itself in the form of a tent. On the border of Buryatisha and Transbaikalia we cross Vitimsky Bridge, which is also called the most dangerous bridge, and it is not just for nothing. In winter it can still be bypassed by a winter road on the river, but in summer it is impossible. It is from this moment that the auto-doubler of the western BAM becomes conditionally passable by car. The bridge passes over the Vitim River. It was erected in the 80s for the construction of the main BAM routes and was always listed as a temporary structure, but nothing is more permanent than temporary. This bridge still stands, and no new automobile bridge has been built. Its width is almost equal to the width of a car, its length is 570 meters, and its height above the water is 15. In 2016 it was banned by the authorities, and in 2018 one of its supports was swept away by an ice storm, but people continue to use it. The bridge is in poor condition, with spent railroad ties, no railings, and in some places, with voids over the river. I don't even know if there have been fatalities or not. The first station on our way was Quandar. Uzba Mestro from the Uzbek SSR was the chief brigade in the construction of Quandar station. When its first builders arrived at the site in 1982, the Tinder newspaper Avangard published an article with the headline Salam, Comrade BAM. Quandar settlement is famous for the fact that it was here that the construction of the Baikal-Amur Mainline officially ended. To commemorate this event, a monument to the labor glory of BAM builders was erected in Quandar. In fact, the Golden Link did not meet in Quandar, but a little to the east at Balbukta station. Here, on September 29, 1984, the brigades of Alexander Bondar and Ivan Varshavsky, known throughout the country, met. But they decided not to cancel the holiday planned in advance with laying of the Golden Link and a rally. The builders returned to Quandar, removed 2 links of the rail track, and on October 1 in the presence of high party leaders laid them back. The next station was Novaya Chara. In translation from Evenki word Chara means shoal, and indeed, the river Chara, flowing near the settlement, has many shoals and rapids. The construction of the settlement and the station was sponsored by a team from Kazakhstan. The station was designed in such a way that its appearance reminded of distant Kazakhstan. The station in Novaya Chara resembles a Kazakh headdress. Novaya Chara is a place where you should come for more than a day, because there are many interesting natural sights in the vicinity of the village. At least one day should be reserved for visiting Chara Sands, the most famous sightseeing place in the north of Transbaikalia. Well, we are going further along the Chita section of BAM, and the next station on our way is Akarbia. The architecture of station and residential houses here is associated with the national architecture of Georgia, dark, tough, light. Marble, metal chasing are used in it. Exquisite canopies over the entrances to houses with drawings on the theme of Georgian mountains are a trademark of the village. Here the Baikal-Amur Mainline jumps into Yakutia along its border for 36 kilometers out of more than 4,000. Kani is the only Yakut station on the Big BAM, and by BAM standards the settlement is not small. Well, beyond the river Kani begins the Amur region. Here is the longest section of the BAM, almost 1,300 kilometers. Besides, the capital of BAM, Tinder, is located approximately in the center of the main line. At the same time, the BAM Autodoubler is the most difficult to access here. There is no automobile bridge across the Alekma River, and there has never been one. Therefore, it is possible to cross this river only in the cold season, when there is a winter road. In the past, cars were allowed across the bridge, but now there is too much train traffic on the BAM, and the time intervals are insufficient for this. So we reached the Yuktala station, which was built by the Chelyabinsk region. Not only high-rise houses, but also a school, a kindergarten, and a hospital have grown on the previously deserted territory. The first street that appeared in the settlement was named Chelyabinsk Street. Because of permafrost, Chelyabinsk residents had to use special technologies. Thus, houses were built on piles, heating lines and other communications were stretched above the ground. From the settlement of Yuktali our way goes along a new highway. Earlier it passed near the railroad. Now the second branch is being laid, and the double track was moved higher. Now it is a beautiful mountain serpentine. We arrive in Tinder, the capital of BAM. It is here that the western and eastern branches meet. Tinder is the northernmost and youngest city of the Amur region. The capital of BAM was built mainly by Muscovites. An extravagant station in the form of a snow-white bird appeared on the place of swamp and deep taiga, which became the main attraction of the capital of the Baikal-Amur Mainline. The eastern BAM Autodoubler is less touristy and much more complicated for automobile travel. However, it has an advantage: you can leave the BAM from several places at once and bypass difficult sections via the Amur Highway. Until about the middle of April, while there is ice on the rivers and the ice has not gone, it is possible to pass the Autodoubler. But in the few weeks that we drove the BAM from edge to edge from the very starting station, it got warmer and the winter roads started to fall apart. A road trip along the BAM is not a ride on a comfortable autobahn with roadside cafes and hotels. Northern Taiga makes the way unpredictable and exciting. Spring sunny morning can be abruptly replaced by snowy day and rainy evening. Almost before the Zaya Reservoir on the Molmuga River, the most inaccessible section of the BAM auto-doublet, which is not used, begins. A week earlier some prepared off-roaders on big wheels and with winches tried to pass here, but they failed. So we turn off, drive through Kloini and come to the wild winter road of the Zaya Reservoir, which goes straight to Verkhnezhist. The history of Verkhnezhist settlement is inextricably linked with the history of the Baikal-Amur Mainline construction. The peculiarity of the location of the settlement is connected with the fact that during the construction of the railroad it was necessary to build a large bridge 1073 m long across the Zaya Reservoir formed by the Zaya HPP. Murray taiga bogs are formed due to permafrost. Our way goes along the northern border of the only in Russia Murray Reserve, Norsky. We arrive in Fevrilsk. The working settlement of the Baikal-Amur Mainline builders was founded in August 1974 near the village of Fevrilskoye, which was founded in February 1896. Febrilsk was an important point for military railroaders and the first residential carriages were built by soldiers. The eastern section, as well as 50 years ago, is built by military railroaders, for which reason so little has been written about this part of BAM. Next is Olonka, which was built by Moldavia. The red and white structure is considered one of the most beautiful on the eastern section of BAM. Above the entrance there is a metal composition that symbolically depicts the friendship of the Russian and Moldavian peoples. Urgel, one station appeared as early as 1937. However, in 1942 the rails from this line were removed and used for the construction of the Volga Rockade. The history of Novy Urgel settlement has its roots in the city of Donetsk. The first construction crew, Donbass, was the first to come to the construction of the settlement in 1974. It was from there that volunteers came to the Far East to establish new settlements on the Baikal-Amur Mainline at the call of Lenin's Komsomol. The construction of Novy Urgel was carried out according to the general plan developed by the Kharkov Design Institute. In the waiting room there is a mosaic panel with scenes from the life of Soviet Ukraine. Military builders also took part in the erection of the settlement. There is a monument to the military builders, which is called Cube. It is a kind of symbol of Novy Urgel. Further to the east is Solony settlement, which was built by Tajikistan. After you need to cross the Dusalan mountain range, which is one of the 7 wonders of Khabarovsk Krai. And if the automobile road goes along the top through the pass, the railroad road is cut into the ridge by a tunnel. The Dusalan Tunnel is a railway tunnel almost 2 kilometers long on the eastern section of BAM, where another tunnel for the second tracks is currently under construction. We were lucky enough to see from the inside how it is being built and arranged. We arrived in the village of Berezovoy. In the middle of the last century, a railroad from Komsomolsk-on-Amur was laid to this area. Postashevo station was built by Novosibirsk region, the center of which was itself borne by the railroad. We drive further east along the dusty rocky road. And on the way we stop at the settlement of Everon. The panel over the platform reminds that Everon was built in the Altai region. And further in 130 kilometers, Komsomolsk-on-Amur, the second largest city of Khabarovsk Krai and the largest on the BAM. It is the industrial center of the Far East, one of the economic centers of Russia. The steel main line plays a significant role in the life of the city. The railroad station now looks like this. But the very first station, a one-story wooden one, was built in 1936 for the arrival of the first train. And this is the bridge over the Amur River. Its construction began in 1969. The construction of supports was completed in October 1974, and in August 1975 the last span was installed. Soon the single-track railroad bridge with a total length of 1,435.3 m was opened for freight and passenger trains. In 1981 automobile traffic was opened on the bridge. Before the construction of this bridge, a ferry crossing across the Amur River was operated by the Don and Volga ferries. In wintertime the ice was additionally frozen for laying temporary railroad tracks, on which the crossing was carried out until spring. The monument to the feat of arms of BAM builders was erected in Komsomolsk-on-Amur on the day of opening of through working movement of trains on October 27, 1984. Further to the east we drive along the asphalted road, but not of BAM. On the autodoubler to Vanino through traffic is impossible, the road ends in Tumnin settlement, after that only by train through. the pass to Ustayarochi, so we bypass this place through Ladoga and get to Vanino. Vanino Bay first appeared on Russian nautical maps in the 19th century thanks to the expedition to explore the Tartar Strait. The bay bears the name of military topographer Iakim Klementivich Vanin. Both the port, the settlement and the district got their name from the name of the bay. Now Vanino is the largest transportation hub in the Far East, where all major modes of transportation lead to. It is an important point of the Baikal-Amur Mainline, where it meets the Pacific Ocean. Soviet Harbor. Traditional photo at the Stele. The railroad came to the last town on the BAM, in fact the earliest. As already mentioned, the main line from Komsomolsk-on-Amur was built in 1945. The first western section of BAM, Taishet, Ustkat, was completed only in the 50s, as we wrote about in the first article on the Irkutsk region. This is the last station of BAM, but it is not a passenger station, so rarely anyone comes here. But the BAM does not end here either. We decided to go further, to the place where the rails end, and we found this place. Partner material. As we wrap up our incredible journey along the BAM, we hope you've enjoyed experiencing the breathtaking landscapes and unique challenges that come with traveling this remarkable road. From the rugged mountains to the serene rivers, every mile has offered a glimpse into the heart of this stunning region. Whether you're an adventure seeker or simply curious about the world, the BAM is a testament to the beauty and resilience of nature. Thank you for joining us on this unforgettable adventure, and we look forward to sharing more explorations with you in the future. Safe travels.